What's the haps? I'm John, aka Meroka, and welcome to Spiel. Today we are in Iron Queen Tier 3 on Elite, a poison stratum, and the music behind obviously denotes we're in a deconstruction zone. Let's pop that off my screen. There we go. So let's kick things off with Spiral Knights news. Yeah! Because there's only one thing to talk about, but it is kind of a lengthy thing because there's quite a lot involved in it. So last week, indeed, almost seems like something I should have covered last week because it came out last Wednesday. There was a new addition to the store. There's a new thing you can buy for your real money. This is the Deluxe Starter Pack, which is a change to the existing Starter Pack. So I'm going to back off away from all the stuffs that might want to kill me while I bring this up on the Supply Depot. So in the Supply Depot we can see purchase. Can I purchase things? Yes, I can. Battle Pack. That's not what I wanted to be advertised. You're prioritizing the wrong adverts, I think, game. Deluxe Starter Pack. Here we go. There's the one. So, similar stuff to last time, but there's a bunch of new additions. We've got 2 new armors and 2 new weapons that were not in it before. They're all 1-star stuff, so it's all, again, so it is intended as a starter pack. It's something to give you a little bit of a kickstart in the game. I'm not sure who pays $20 right off the bat for a free-to-play game that they've never played before. Nice work auto-targeting, you hit the bomb, well done. So, yeah, again, and I don't know who would pay that, but some people might, and I know I bought the starter pack myself, but only after I invested a lot of time in the game, so, At any rate, the new weapons. There is a red saber, which looks a little bit like the Nightblade, or its various variants, much like the Acheron I am carrying as we speak. But it is red. And it can inflict fire. And it has a high attack speed, whereas this one typically has a medium, so I've been told it works a little like the cutter, which seems a bit strange. I can't imagine twirling one of these around like a crazy madman, so it seems odd. So it looks a little bit like works a bit like the cutter, looks like the Nightblade, and inflicts fire. So some people have called it Fang of Vogue done right, but who knows? I don't suppose many people at this stage will actually have one to test out. There's also a gun which looks a little bit like the Antigua, but it is a frosty variant. And it also has a fast attack speed, much as the Antigua itself does. So, yeah, it's just a very low-level frost gun. There are already some of those available, but maybe not ones that fire at a high attack speed. So, might be a nice addition to your low-level armament. Certainly potentially a good item for use in lockdown, if you're into the Tier 1 lockdown kind of thing. These are maybe interesting things you might want to play with. There's also a couple of armors, which actually do seem like pretty good ones for the level. They are, again, 1-star. All the stuff in this pack is 1-star stuff. But these have fire, shock, and freeze resistance, and elemental resistance. And why is that? Oh, that shouldn't have been open, should it? That seems weird. Either way, yeah, good all-round resistance. It's same as the, I guess, like the Breaker line, but a combination of all of them. And elemental resistance, we don't actually see on much low-level gear. It's typically normal resist on most of the low-level items. Not that you're likely to need much resistance other than normal, you know, in Tier 1 where everything deals normal damage, so who knows? It seems like an interesting change, though. New stuff. It's all fun. You still get the static flash. You still get the green wards, the shield and bomb that you've always got from the pack. You continue to obviously get your 7,500 energy. Not to be confused with crystal energy. It is energy now, just to annoy Latazan actually on that score. And yeah, you can pick up 7,500 E. You get a heat amplifier. I'm not sure if it's the same heat amplifier as you used to get. It's a 30-day one in this pack. I'm not sure whether the old one was 30 days or not. At any rate, it is now. You still get your artifacts. You used to get, way back in the day, you used to get a bunch of mist tanks. Then when the mist tanks were done away with, they gave everyone a bunch of sparks instead. You used to get 25 sparks. Now you only get 10 sparks of life. So that's not so great. But now, how I get you? Can you reach that? No, you can't reach that. Well done. Okay. I need a vase or something, I guess. Huh. Oh, the things you can't do. Oh, I could throw a vial at it. That would be the obvious solution, wouldn't it? Don't like you, stun vial. There we go. Now we're in. Aha! Clever solutions to problems. Wasn't that clever. It was pretty standard. Anyway, as there are also the trinkets, trinket slots, and weapon slots. Previously you got 2 of each. In fact, you don't even get the trinket slot this time. Now you only get the 1 weapon slot now. Is it? Let me check my document. It's 1 weapon slot. Previously you got 2 weapons and 2 trinkets, so that's kind of a bit of a downgrade on that score. So, mostly they seem to have taken away stuff that's useful to you at every level and replaced it with a lot of stuff that's useful to you only in Tier 1. So, your mileage may vary as to whether you think that's worth it or not. Who knows? So, let's do some questions, shall we? In fact, I don't know if this is supposed to be a new segment or something. A few weeks back, Brypor asked me, could I talk about CE prices? In fact, it's not a CE price, it's an E price at some point. I could talk about them. I'm still not sure what you need me to talk about. And sweet treasure. Sweet treasure. So, am I just to document what the actual price is on any given week? It's about 8,133 this week. The current price to sell energy for is 8,134, and the current price to buy energy for is 7,827. Is that what you wanted? Or are you looking for a interesting history on the changes in prices? Because I can tell you when I joined the game, the price of energy, or crystal energy as it was back then, was about 4,000 and was going up even when I joined the game. And I was, at that point, you know, that would have been a great time to invest in it. If you're looking to invest in that kind of thing, that would have been the time to do it. I was new to the game, I didn't do that. I figured it's a market, the price will fluctuate, it'll probably come back down, you know, it's no big deal. Turns out it was a big deal, it's gone up and it's never, ever, ever gone back down. I believe, before I joined the game, it did start out about... Oh, hi. You're in my face. It did start out, at some point, about 3,000. Although in beta, I've also heard it went up to about 20,000 as well, so... a bit of difference there. At any rate, yeah, the price went up to about 7,000. Hovered there for a bloody long time. Various promotions and things have changed things. I guess it's sort of, over a long time, crept up to about 10,000. They've put various energy sinks into the game. It's come back down. It's now about 8,000. It fluctuates anywhere between... I don't know if it has been 7 recently, but I think it sort of generally tends to fluctuate between 7 and 10-ish, depending on what promotions are on at any given time, and how long it's been since a promotion. That's a history of energy, I guess. Am I to do this? Do people want me to read out... Let me know, actually. Do people want me to read out the energy prices every week? Is this going to be a thing? I can do that if you want, but I don't think it's very interesting. At any rate, yeah, energy. There you go. A more significant question, one that is a little bit more of a topic for me. Sky Scythe asked me a few weeks ago, am I worried about the new YouTube changes? So I feel like I'm going to have to brief a lot of people on this. If you're not particularly actively involved or don't watch a whole lot of YouTubers, or for whatever reason, many people probably won't know what this is about. And I feel like I'm going to have to explain this. But in the middle of December, YouTube changed a lot of stuff, rather I should say Google changed a lot of stuff about how YouTube works, because obviously YouTube is owned by Google. The first thing was how networks run. There are now... Networks are divided into 2 stages. You can fall into one of 2 categories within a network. You can be managed or sweet spark. You can be managed or affiliate with any given network if you've joined a network on your channel. And the 2 are... well, they differ significantly, unfortunately. So I should explain what they are before I explain what happened with them. So, a managed channel is the one you want to be. When you sign a contract with a network, you're signing it, generally speaking, or most of them have been signed in the past, historically at any rate, on the basis that you are going to be managed with a network. What that means is the network will handle any and all disputes as regards copyrights. They take responsibility for your channel as regards copyrights. They basically say everything on this channel is okay to use. They're not stealing anyone's music, they're not stealing anyone's video, they're not stealing any other person's work. We're taking responsibility for this. We trust this guy to be doing it right. And your videos get automatic approval for monetization. The moment your video is uploaded, you instantly get approval to have adverts run on your video. No issues whatsoever. And that is one of the big selling points of a network. The other one is that Content ID, which I'll get, I suppose, again, I should explain. I have talked about this in the past, but I have a lot of new followers since last I talked about this. Content ID is... What are we doing here? We're doing Undead, aren't we? Content ID is YouTube's system whereby it's kind of got a automatic database where various content producers can upload their content to, sort of like license holders, your big music, what are they called? Like Universal and... Oh Christ, I brought the wrong weapon. People like Universal and EMI, you know, the big... I can't, the word's gone, I can't think of the word what they are. What would one call those kind of organisations? Either way, the guys who actually hold the rights to the music, you're the big artists, generally publishers, that's the word. Why can't I think of that? Your big music publishers, they will often upload an entire artist, so picking a band completely at random, Iron Maiden, why not? Iron Maiden's a great one. So all of Iron Maiden's music will be in that library. If you were to use an Iron Maiden track in your video, this automated system would run the entire catalogue against it to compare and see if you've used Iron Maiden's... Oh, great, hang on, I get poisoned if I go in there and I can't get... Damn it, I can't get that! Son of a gun. Okay, never mind then. So yeah, if you were to use Iron Maiden, or pretty much any artist, anybody who's with a publisher, this is going to happen with, basically. Most artists in the world, if they're of any kind of note, are going to be on this system. And this system will scan your video when you upload it and check to see if you're using any of the works in the library. And if you are, you'll get a little thing pops up next to your video and says, okay, you don't own the rights to use this. This person owns the rights to use this. This doesn't actually strictly affect your video in any way, but you don't own the video anymore. Whoever this is claimed by now owns your video and can do what they want with it. They can take it down if they so choose. If they're really inclined to take your video down, they can do that. In most instances, they will just run an advert on it and they get the revenue from that advert, not you. It's not your video, you don't get the advert. Even if you use about 3 seconds of the song, which is probably enough to trigger the system, and it's 3 seconds in a half-hour video, and this is why the system is messed up, by the way. They get your thing. This is Iron Maiden or EMI or whoever now own your video because you used 3 seconds of their music. Never mind that there were 29 minutes and 57 seconds of video that they don't own. They still get to run adverts and have the power to take down the entire thing just on the basis of that. Let's grab the yellow. And the system, unfortunately, is not well curated. It's open to a lot of abuse. A lot of people will put stuff up that, quite frankly, they don't own the rights to. The last time I talked about it was in regards to a Minecraft video I did ages ago, which, you know, for the it was the last video in the series. I did a grand finale, got loads of TNT, did a huge explosion, and I found a public domain recording. I found a little college orchestra that had done their own recording, recorded it, put it on the internet, and said, there we go, anybody can use this recording, of the 1812 Overture. This is Tchaikovsky. It's ancient. It's public domain. The copyright on it, not that I don't think copyright was even a thing when it was written, but any copyright that would have been on it, as owned by Tchaikovsky, would be out of date on the basis that the song is so old. Copyright only lasts for 100, 150 years or something, I'm not sure exactly what the date is, but either way, most classical music falls outside of the realms of copyright these days, so anybody can perform it, and they have the rights to do that. So this was a college performance. They obviously own the rights to their own performance, but they said, this is public domain, you can use this. I took this recording, and then lots of people, it wasn't even one person, it was I think it was a group of people, all said, look, we all own the rights to Tchaikovsky here. And I'm like, no you don't. That's impossible. You can't own the rights to Tchaikovsky. So yeah, I ended up with this copyright ID flagging. So I contested that and won against it, and that's okay, that worked out for the best. But it's just an example of how the system can be abused. People can upload stuff they don't like. And the system for that changed back in December as well. And lots of people got content ID flagged. Particularly, I noted, the one thing I picked up on, a lot of Kerbal Space Program. There's someone out there, I'm not sure exactly what they used it for, I think it was I'm thinking it's like a hypnosis video, or is that an older case? There's definitely something did involve, it's Kevin MacLeod, or Kevin MacLeod, however you pronounce his name. His music is used in Kerbal Space Program. Kevin MacLeod, if you're not familiar with his work, I've used it a lot. He writes loads and loads and loads of songs all the time. This is his job. He writes music and he puts it on the internet for anybody to use for free. And you can use it for whatever, you can monetize it, you can do whatever the heck you like with it. And I really need to think about my weapons before running in. And so, Kerbal Space Program, okay, we can do whatever we want with it, we can use it for free, this is great. They've taken the music, they've used it as the soundtrack to the game, and that's great, they're allowed to do that. Someone else used it in a movie or a CD or whatever they did, they remixed his music for some reason, for whatever purposes they needed to remix his music for, and that's okay. They're allowed to do that, they're allowed to monetize it, that's all okay. But the problem is that that song, which uses Kevin MacLeod's music, now flags Content ID on YouTube for anybody else using the original Kevin MacLeod song. That's not okay, and is, whether it's an accident or whether it's an abuse of the system, it's difficult to be sure. Some of these could be accidents, some of these might be genuine malice, just let's run adverts on as many videos as possible. In the instances of the classical music, I feel like that probably is the case, because obviously you can't own the rights to Tchaikovsky. It's too old. You might own the rights to a specific recording. Maybe their recording was just close enough to another recording that it triggered the system, but I feel like people are uploading, that's the way I came, must be uploading classical music and saying, we own this track, and just running adverts on as many videos as possible. Now, of course you can contest it, and of course that's fine. They'll get taken down. They don't have a leg to stand on. But what they're banking on is people not doing that. If they flag enough videos that use the 1812 Overture, then not everybody is going to contest that. Some videos are going to essentially belong to whoever flagged it for as long as the claim stands, and they're going to be running adverts on it and making money off of it, off of music that they just straight up just don't own. And that's a pretty scummy and, I would say, downright illegal way of doing things. I probably shouldn't be fighting this thing in a big healing circle. That's probably the wrong way to go about this. There we go. Cool. So, how does this tie in? Well, the recent changes in YouTube now say that I think they're being a bit more stringent about the managed and affiliate thing. Basically, they're going to be checking people to make sure that they are abiding by the rules. And many of the networks, you know, if you've ever looked at any network site, a lot of them brag, oh, we've got tens of thousands of partners. I've seen some that say 70, 80,000 partners. These were all managed at one stage, at any rate. These networks are genuinely claiming we are absolutely going to vouch for 80,000 channels, all producing videos probably on a weekly basis. They're probably going to be doing stuff like me. They're going to be producing videos 7 days a week, 5 days a week, 3 days a week, maybe twice a day in some instances, depends on the channel. Different people produce at different rates, but they're all going to be putting out content, and these networks are vouching for all 80,000. If all of them put out one video a day, that's 80,000 videos a day. They are guaranteeing to YouTube, this is YouTube's legal basis for existence as well, so they're not breaching copyright. They're saying, legally, all 80,000 of these channels definitely have not used any copyright, and they can't check that. They can't. It's beyond power. This is why networks are not great, quite frankly. So YouTube have changed this system to check them more frequently, I think, is basically what's happening. Let me just back off while I shield up. So the networks now need to be more stringent about it. And they're changing the channels from the managed status to the affiliate status. The managed channels, obviously, they get immunity from the Content ID system, which I've just described in great length, and they obviously get the automatic monetization and the guarantee that they're not going to be infringing copyright. So Google doesn't like that there were hundreds and hundreds of thousands of channels just, you know, completely, essentially above the law, just on one company's say-so. It's not really great for them from a legal standpoint, because clearly they can't all be okay. There's got to be something sketchy going on in there. There's just too much content for it all to be okay, really. So now hundreds of thousands of channels that were managed and had all this protection, and the main point of joining the channel for them in the first place, don't have all these perks that were the point of them joining the channel in the first place. I don't know which route to go here. Let's have a nosy down here. Oh, it branches too many times. There are so many branches. This is crystals, that's fine. So, networks like Polaris. Polaris is a great example. Polaris did manage hundreds and hundreds of channels. I wouldn't say thousands. They were a bit more stringent about the quality of stuff that they took on, I think. But they had hundreds of channels, and they now have 37 which are managed. Polaris only have 37 channels from hundreds of people. These are all big name YouTubers. Angry Joe is the most notable one everybody keeps going on about. The Angry Joe Show. He used to be managed, and now he is merely an affiliate, which means he has to go through the same rigmarole that, quite frankly, I do. He is effectively on the same level as me for producing videos. He still has to go through the same, oh, I definitely own this video, argue the case before you can monetize it thing. He still gets affected by Content ID. There's actually very little point to him being an affiliate, because you don't actually get much out of it. I mean, oh god, oh jeez, this isn't going well. What the networks will argue is that they offer tech support for you if you're having problems producing your videos, or any issues with just generally technically in the whole video production process, want some help and advice in that field of things. Let's take a pill. They can help out with that, and they'll often offer things like, oh, we'll give you excellent networking opportunities, you can talk to other YouTubers. Oh great, this is going, oh Christ. This is where I died last week, isn't it? A room exactly like this. It's because the spike, no it wasn't, Spiral Knights Reloaded I died here, wasn't it? Room this size and shape with two spikes coming at me, and I can't dodge all of them. The difference is, I had a gun that could kill him in that one. How this work? I don't know now. I'm just gonna have to rush in and try and kill it. Kill it, good. Okay, that's one. Take that. Kill that. No, wolf! No, go away, wolf! Okay, let's head over to this side of things. Can I pill? No, I need a... Give me a second. There we go. Take a pill. Oh, this is getting frantic. So, as I say, many channels will have signed up to networks under a contract saying that they will be managed. They've decided to join the network on this basis, and it's, quite frankly, it is basically a breach of contract to change it like that, to not deliver the things that they were promised when they signed up in the first instance. So many of these people are eligible to, quite frankly, leave their channels, but at the same time, it's also at the network's discretion as to whether they're allowed to leave the channels, which is a pretty sorry state of affairs on the whole thing. So even in the case of a breach of contract, they can say, okay, I want to leave the network, and there's a little button on their channel that says, I wish to leave my network. The network then still has to say, okay, sure, we're going to allow you to go. They can't just leave at their leisure. The network has to actively agree to let them go. They really do hold all the power. The content producers... Oh god, hang on. I right-clicked on my desktop there, that brought up all sorts of things. The content producers have very little power in regards to almost anything, it seems. In terms of copyright, the alleged content holders have the final say in most matters, and in terms of networks, the networks hold most of the power over the channels themselves. So if you ever want to know why I'm not interested in joining a network, it's because they're bloody horrible, generally speaking. Curse, I hear, is quite good at the minute. They're agreeing to make everybody on the network managed after 2 weeks. If you're with them for 2 weeks, they will make you managed after that. How that's viable, I don't know, because surely they're going to end up with, again, too many people to managed. But interesting to see how that one plays out. They're also offering I believe, an 80-20 split to everyone, which is actually really high. Most networks will just say, oh, we'll give you a 50-50 split right off the bat, and then if you haggle with them a bit, they might offer you a 60-40 split, which is not great. You're offering, basically saying, I'm going to give away 40% of all my money to this network. And what they are offering in exchange is, obviously, instant monetization and immunity to Content ID. And it's up to you whether 40% of all your money is worth that. In my instance, I'm not quite convinced it is. Not that I'm earning much money anyway through this at all. So, meh, almost a moot point, really. So, am I worried about the changes was the initial one. I've taken all this time to explain it just to get to the point. Not too much. I have actually been infected by Content ID. I didn't think I had been at first. In fact, for the first few weeks I wasn't. But then, about 2 days ago, no less than 3 of my videos, which use Ronald Jenkins music, which I had his permission to use, have now been flagged by Ind Music. I contacted Ronald Jenkins, and the man is a freaking legend, by the way. He got back in touch, like, in no time at all. He's really, really good about getting back to people on emails. I've emailed him before, and he's just instant. It's like, okay, he's on the ball in minutes, or, you know, hours at the very most. Let's head down to the terminal, why not? And he got back and was like, yeah, okay, technically I am partnered with these guys. They do have the rights to my music. They can claim it on a Content ID. They shouldn't be doing, but they can do. I'm working to get out of this contract. As soon as I'm out of this contract, they won't own my music, and these claims should, in theory, disappear. So what I've done with those particular videos is they are now unlisted. You can still view them. I think you should be able to find them if you go through my playlists, if you were dying to find those videos again. And some of them are quite good ones, unfortunately. Ones I was pleased with making at the time, anyway. Yeah. They are now unlisted. You can find them in a playlist. You won't be able to find them by searching it or just browsing through my videos. I'm not certain about that playlist thing, but I think it should work. At any rate, if you're dying, I can give you a link to them. It's unlisted. I haven't made them private. A lot of people make them private. I haven't done that. But functionally, it's very, very similar, at any rate. So that's a quick look at the new YouTube changes, and clearly I am going to be affected by this in some instances. If anybody uses Kevin MacLeod's stuff, then yeah, I could be hit by it in the future, but so will everybody else. Kevin MacLeod's actually quite good about fighting those claims on your behalf, because obviously it's his music and he doesn't want people to be unable to use his music, because that hurts his business. It's definitely not a good state of affairs for him, so he will fight for you. But other artists, maybe not so much, I don't know. So I'm not too bothered about the music I use. I generally try to get permission to use my stuff, and obviously most of the music I will use will be Kevin MacLeod's, so that I have the rights to use that. That's good. I'm not too bothered about that. The network stuff is a major change. It is affecting a lot of people, but it won't affect me. I'm not bothered about that. I have no immediate plans to join a network unless someone actually offers something better. As one final note, the quote I gave from Generic B a few weeks ago is that a network really should actually be trying to add value to your channel in order to earn your money, basically. They're asking for a chunk of your money, they should be doing something to earn it. And what they should be doing to earn it is promoting your video. The main thing they could be doing is helping your channel grow. If you're going to be giving them your money, you want them to be making you more money, because that helps them as well anyway. So if they could help your channel grow, if they could essentially act like the agent that they are functionally being, and get you better gigs, essentially, and improve your channel, then they would be worth actually partnering with. As it stands, they're not worth partnering with, and I wouldn't recommend it. So thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Please do leave a like if you have enjoyed, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed, because I'll be making a lot more content every day. And I shall see you next time.
Yeah!